What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. On today's menu we have some combo tutorials and test hands for my Fluffal deck which I posted a few days ago. Now before we get into the combos, I want to talk a bit about the Fluffal deck. This is a combo deck which can produce some insane boards, but it is a bit different than other combo decks, as this deck is what I like to call a kind of a winged combo deck. Now what do I mean by that? Well, in normal fashion, combo decks have sort of a linear line of play, which is the optimal combo they try to reach, and they try to reach it with every single hand. But with Fluffal, the deck is more dependent on the hand you draw. Some hands can lead to some solid plays, while others can lead to some insane combos which end on massive boards that are really hard to out. But I've talked about enough about theory, let's get into some of the basic combos of the deck. Alright, so combo number one we have today just starts with a Fluffal dog in your hand, and this is a combo, a very simple one that leads into a Dragoon play. So what you do is you normal summon your Fluffal dog, and you activate its effect to search for Fluffal sheep. You shuffle the deck a little bit. Now since you control Fluffal monster, Fluffal sheep can special summon itself from the hand. You go and you link these two cards, I'm going to put them over here, into a Verde Anaconda play. I'm going to put the Verde Anaconda here so you can see it. Activate Verde Anaconda's effect, paying 2,000 life points and pitching Red Ice Fusion. And you also pitch, of course, the fusion materials, which are the Red Ice Black Dragon and the Dark Magician. Shuffle your deck a little bit. And there you go. That's a very simple Dragoon play, just to get Dragoon into the field in case you have a brick hand. This is a very solid board because remember, you only normal summon dog, which means you have 4 blank cards in your hand, which means any of them can be used to pitch into Dragoon. Let's move on to the next combo. Alright, combo number 2. So we got a dog and a patchwork in hand, but you don't want to commit to a big line of play, get a big combo that you can get Nibiru'd before you can set up a negate. Well, I got you on that one. So let's start by normal summoning the dog. Say your opponent open Ash Blossom in hand. That's good. He Ash Blossoms the dog, you don't get a search, but you still have the play. Now you activate Patchwork, searching for a Polymerization and an Edge Imp Chain. You search for those cards, shuffle the deck, put the Patchwork in the graveyard. Now you got these 2 cards in hand, and say another 1, 2, 3 blank cards, doesn't matter quite a bit. But let's put those back into the deck. Now, you activate Polymerization, sending the dog and the chain into the graveyard, and special summoning a Cruel Whale. Now, we're gonna get chain to activate its effect as Chain Link 1, and if your opponent has nothing to respond to that, Cruel Whale is gonna activate its ignition effect as Chain Link 2 to send targeting himself and sending a Frightful Repair so you don't have it in your deck so it doesn't bother you. And what you're gonna get with Chain is Frightful Fusion. Now, you wanna activate Frightful Fusion, banishing your Chain and your dog, to special summon a second Cruel Whale, putting this in the graveyard, and now you move into a play where you set up a Calamities in 3 summons, which is incredibly good. So, you get a Calamities play, you can buy yourself a turn. That is so cool, and that is so cool that this deck can do that. And if you're enjoying this video, a like and sub would be super. Now, those were 2 small-scale combos to get started on plays where your hand could be a little bit iffy and you just don't want to commit to something big. Now, let's do a couple of test hands and see where this deck would want to lead me to. Like I said, this is a winged deck, so the deck has to lead me to its combo. So let's put the extra deck to the side, shuffle the deck a little bit. So you can see that I'm shuffling it. I want to keep it legitimate. If I brick, I brick. There's nothing I can do about it. So let's draw my cards. Oh, that is actually alright. So my bad. So this is the hand that I'm starting with. I got a Fluffal Penguin, a Fluffal Dog, and 2 Fluffal Dogs, and an Edge Imp Size. So here's what I would do in this kind of line of play. I would actually do combo number 1 here. Keep these 2 cards in hand. Actually, I want to keep these 3 cards in hand. I'm gonna commit the dog for the normal summon, searching for the sheep. Where's the sheep? And special summoning the sheep, going into a Verde Anaconda, activating Verde Anaconda's effect to pitch Red Eyes Fusion and Dark Magician. Probably I didn't shuffle the deck too well. We also have Red Eyes in hand, so this is gonna go to the graveyard. And we're gonna summon Dragoon. So, you got a board where you have a Dragoon and a Verde Anaconda. You have Edge Imp Scythe in your hand to fusion summon with Penguin. And you also have the dog to pitch with Dragoon. It's basically a 2 interruption board. It's not that bad. It could be, trust me, it could be so much worse. Let's start this again. Let's do another shuffle the deck. See what the Fluffal deck wants to give me now. Some of the combos could be so insanely good, and some of them could be very, very small scale, but it works. Some of them work. I mean, setting up a Dragoon, your opponent could have a very hard time to out the card. But let's see. Let's cut the deck, and let's see what I can draw from this. Alright, so a Fluffal Penguin. Oh, this is already so good. This is already so very, very good. Yeah, this is a great hand. This is a very good hand. So let's start by, my bad, activating Foolish Burial Goods, pitching in a Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor's effect is going to search me my only copy of Fluffal Dolphin to the hand, shuffle the deck a little bit, put this to the side. So I'm gonna normal summon the Penguin. I'm gonna put this over here. Special summoning the Dolphin, activating Dolphin's effect. Let's move this a little bit to the side to set the Toy Vendor to the field, and sending a Wings to the graveyard. See, this is where the combo gets a little bit to what I call the winged part, because it will all depend on what happens after I do this. I'm gonna go into Bahamut Shark, sending Dolphin to the graveyard to special summon Totally Awesome. Now I'm gonna activate Wings' effect, banishing himself through cost and banishing the Dolphin, keeping this in the graveyard to draw 1, draw 2 after I send this. I will activate its effect. Now, ideally, the line of play I want to take here would be a bear. Now, why a bear? I'll show you right now. Shuffle the deck a little bit. Now, pitch your bear. This was an under 4 summons, which means you cannot get Nibiru. I mean, if you want to Nibiru, you can negate it. And set up another Toy Vendor on the field. Why did I do this? I'll explain. Alright, I'm gonna activate the Nibiru, the Toy Vendor. Pitching Chain for cost. Drawing a card, let's see what it is. It's another Toy Vendor. That's actually a pretty decent draw in my opinion. I'm gonna activate Edgem Chain's Chainlink 1 and Toy Vendor's Chainlink 2. Toy Vendor is gonna search for a Fluffal dog. Go with a Fluffal dog, and Edgem Chain is going to search for the good old-fashioned Patchwork. Now, let's continue with our line of plays. Activating Patchwork. We're going to search for a Polymerization and an Edgem Sabers to the hand. Shuffle the deck a little bit. Now check this out. My hand is huge right now. I have Sabers, I have Poly, I have Dog, I have Goods, Owl, Red Eyes Black Dragon, and Edgem Scythe. That is an insanely big hand, considering I already committed to 4 summons this turn. So, now, I'm gonna activate Polymerization, sending... Ooh, my bad. Give me 1 second. And we're back. Sorry about that. I dropped the card on the floor. Not professional for me, but we continue. We're pitching the Owl to send it to the graveyard. We move the graveyard to the side because we need places for our summons. We're gonna summon our Cruel Whale. Now send the poly to the graveyard. Now we have a 4-card hand. That's a pretty big hand. Now we're going to activate Cruel Whale's effect, targeting himself to send in Frightful Repair to the graveyard. Now we're going to banish Repair to special summon our dog. Dog is going to activate its effect to get sheep from my deck to my hand. Right, let's see, what can we continue on to now? What do I have in the graveyard? Well, I think the correct line of play here is a pretty simple one. It would be special summon the sheep, activate its effect to bounce the dog back to my hand, and get sabers. And I believe the correct thing to do here would be go 1, 2, 3, 4. Get an Appaloosa with 4 negates. And keep these 2 cards for another interruption during my opponent's search. Remember, I can pop this and get another search. Pretty decent in my opinion. Also remember, if I pitch Totally Awesome to negate something, say, I don't know, Lightning Storm, I can always pick back up the Penguin, activating Totally Awesome's effect in the graveyard, and now I have so much advantage because these 3 cards, this being on the field, sorry, let's put this center, this being on the field, this being in my hand, these 2 being in my hand, this is a draw 2, dump 1, sorry, and this is a search. That's insane in my opinion. How about we do one more? Let's do one more. Alright, let's get on to the last test hand. Let's shuffle the deck a little bit, see what Fluffal gods have in store for us. Perhaps I will not draw one of the vanilla garnets this time. I don't know, my shuffling skills aren't that fantastic. I cannot see, let's cut. I cannot see. Alright, let's do this. Let's see. Alright, an Edgem Chain, a Foolish Burial Goods, an Edgem Scythe, a Bear, and a Poly. You see, this is a bit of an interesting hand when you see it right now. Let's put it front and center. Let's see. Let's activate Foolish Burial Goods. Dumping in a Toy Vendor, and Toy Vendor's effect is gonna search me for a Fluffal Penguin. You see, the combo will depend right now on what I do from here. Let's activate Polymerization, pitching him and him, both these cards to the graveyard, to special summon a Cruel Whale. Now, let's do the chain links, okay? Penguin is going to be chain link 1. Chain is going to be chain link 2. If there's no responses, I'm going to activate Whale as chain link 3. So Whale is going to target himself and is going to pitch, as always, the Frightful Repair. Chain is going to get me a Frightful Patchwork. I'm going to shuffle the deck because I need to draw 2 and pitch 1 right now. Remember, I'm only on 1 summon so far. So, we draw a Dog, and we draw a Toy Vendor. Ooh, now this could get nutty. So, let's go. Bear, pitching Bear, to get a Toy Vendor on the field. Now, let's activate Patchwork. Let's move these to background. Activating Patchwork, sending it to the graveyard to get a Polymerization and an Edgem Sabers. Shuffle the deck a little bit. Now we got a big hand, which we could commit to a bigger play, But let's see if we can do something solid. Normal summon dog, activating its effect. Let's see if we can get some advantage. Let's search for wings. Now remember, most of my deck is already half gone. Look at this. This is a very tiny size deck. Alright, so let's put these cards to the side. Let's activate Toy Vendor and pitch wings. See what we can draw. Ooh, that is not a good draw. Alright, no matter. We're gonna activate Wings' effect to banish him and dog from the graveyard. And bear, sorry, not dog. And I'm gonna draw one card, send this card to the graveyard to draw another. I'm gonna get his effect to search for. I'm gonna go here for a Fluffal sheep. I believe it's the correct option right now. Now I'm gonna activate Sheep's effect, special summoning himself. I'm gonna activate Sheep's second effect. Sorry, the special summon is not an effect, my bad. I'm gonna activate Sheep's effect to bounce the dog back into my hand to special summon a chain. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we are in Nibiru territory right now, so I'm gonna send these 2 cards to the graveyard to go into our Verde Anaconda play. Summoning Verde Anaconda. Let's put these to the front. This is a big hand. We're gonna actually polymerization right now. Pitching dog and sabers. Yeah, sabers is the correct play. Getting ourselves a second Cruel Whale. Then I'm gonna go ahead and Xyz summon. Actually, I'm gonna Xyz summon in defense position. It's a smarter play. Now we have a hand that has these 4 cards and a Verde Anaconda, which I'm going to activate its effect, paying 2,000 life points, pitching in the 3 materials for a Dragoon. And to send this to the graveyard. Graveyard's over here, so you can see it. Sorry, the camera doesn't have that big of a range. Alright, we're going to summon our Dragoon. This is our field right now. We have 4 cards in hand, and we have these cards on the field. So this is where it gets good. Say I omni-negate with Dragoon. I pitch in the Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor's effect gets me a Penguin. And then I have, again, these 2 beautiful cards for a second disruption besides the Dragoon and besides a third disruption, actually, and the Calamities. That is pretty insane in my opinion. What can I say more than that? The combos just happen as the deck flows because this deck is a bit reliant on discard and on the draws you get from wings. Like, let's move these cards to the side. These are the 2 cards that change what a normal combo deck into what this deck does. These are the RNG cards. This is what turns this deck from a normal combo deck to a winged combo deck. It's just as simple as that. Now, I want to thank you very much, guys, for watching. I hope you come again. And as always, it's been easy. See ya.